Welcome to Plan Organized College. This is Eric with Exclusive Tutoring San Diego. And what I want to do today is I want to give you a couple of the personal statement tips that I use for my students when it comes to the college application. My very first tip here is don't just list your extracurriculars. And what I mean is that a lot of kids, when it gets time for their personal statement, they go in and they spend a big portion of their essay writing about what they've done. Now, this leads me into a side tip, is to show and not tell. So don't go there and just say, my name's Eric, I play basketball, and I do these different activities after school. I want you to show me those different activities. I want you to show me the different things that you might not have had a chance to show off during the extracurricular portion of that application. So what I mean is, maybe tell me a story about one of the tournaments, or tell me about the debates that you've had and and put the emotions and the feelings into it. So what a lot of kids do is they focus upon just painting the surface, just giving us an idea of what they did in terms of the general sense, the general activity. What I want you to do is be a little bit more specific. Talk to me about the different volunteer experiences that you've had and the locations and the people you interacted with. By doing so, it becomes much more dimensional than just listing off what your activities are. My second main tip here is to avoid redundancy. Sorry about that, redundancy. Avoid redundancy. What it means is don't repeat yourself. Now, I already said don't repeat your extracurriculars, but if you could, go through line by line and see if you've repeated feelings or repeated activities and contributions that you've done. You only need to tell us once, all right? When you go over and repeat words, repeat sentences or phrases simply because you like the way you wrote it, all you're doing is you're wasting the words in there. And here's my big tip number 3. I call it identity crisis. And what I mean by identity crisis is that this essay is a personal statement that needs to really identify who you are as an individual. And by identity crisis, what you could say is, if you were just to take your name off of this essay, would you be able to apply it to another student somewhere across the world, or across California, across the country maybe? If you can say yes to any of those questions, what you want to do is you want to start inputting a couple of extra ideas. What you want to do is you want to start thinking about the people that have influenced you, the locations, and start to place yourself and make it more unique to yourself, all right? Because the focus here on this personal application is separating you from the crowd. And understand that the majority of students are going to go through this application, write it as if it was a regular essay that they were using for school, edit it once or twice, hit submit, and that was their chance for college. I think that's kind of silly. We do have the prompts from early on. So, for example, the students who are going to be applying next year have the ability to go through these questions now and start brainstorming and working on their essays. The students that I work with in Plan Organized College start with these essay questions in the summer, actually. And we start developing them and go through with these little tips. You know, I have plenty more as well, but mainly these main tips that I've given you here today are the ones that are the biggest focus. If you can go through them, you already do have an essay that is going to be considered a top-notch, top-level essay, as long as you take the time to edit more than you usually do for school. So I hope you keep those tips in mind. You know, number 1, making sure you don't just list your extracurriculars, but you show them, not just tell. That you avoid being redundant, and that you think about whether or not this identity that you've created in your essay could be applied to somebody else too easily. If you can go through these tips, I do believe that your essay will already have a vast amount of improvement that you wouldn't have had from before before listening to this little podcast, all right? So I know that it's very tough to take a good perspective on, a third-person perspective on your essays. So if you can go ask some teachers, ask some counselors, or if you'd even like to ask me, you can go ahead and email me at eric@exclusivetutoringsd.com, and I'd gladly take a quick look over it to give you some ideas. It's easy to link me on Google Drive, and we can get that started. And I know it's getting close to that application deadline for the UC schools at least. So if you want to, go ahead and hit me up. Go ahead and contact me, or go find me at exclusivetutoringsd.com. I do have plenty of materials on there for you to download and to check out as well. So I hope that was a useful little talk. I hope to talk to you all very soon, and let's get working on that application. I want to help you guys out, so don't hesitate to contact me for help. Have a great day. This is Eric with Plan Organized College at Exclusive Tutoring San Diego. Bye, guys.